Hey guys, what's up? It's Dave from Ghetto Van Adventures, and I'm going to tell you why I will never buy another John Deere. This is a LA165, and when I first got the lawn tractor I thought, hey, this is great. You know, I feel professional. I've got a John Deere, and you know, everybody talked about the Deere and how great they were and everything else, and you know, all I heard was good things up until that point. So I bought it. Well, within the first year, the valves went out of adjustment on the engine. It became hard to start, and that was fine. I said, you know, these things happen. It's mechanical, and apparently it was a common problem. And I was just about to take it into the dealer, get the dealer to do it under warranty. And there was a bumper on the front of this machine, right down there. And I'm cutting along in my field, and next thing, the bumper falls off. And it literally jammed at the tractor and stopped it dead. And I mean, it stopped it dead. If my legs didn't hook on the steering wheel, I would have went right over the front of it. So I took it in, and basically they said the lawn tractor's bumper, front bumper, wasn't installed properly. And I said, well, I never installed it. It was installed when I got it. And it should be covered under warranty also. Like, I thought it was kind of a safety hazard. It was just brushed off. They didn't really seem to care. The valves were adjusted up, and it did make a difference in the starting capability of this rig. And I'll get to the engine a little bit. So, okay. Next thing, there is these little idler pulleys, and now it's kind of all clogged up with grass. Let me go on the other side, and I'll see if I can show it to you. There's one right there. That pulley. Let me get down in there a little bit more. That pulley right there. Okay. I'm always replacing them. Like, I go to John Deere, and they don't flinch. They just say, oh yeah. And so I was replacing those. It eats belts. It eats blades. Like, I mean, these blades dull down, they dent, and I sharpen them up, and they dull down again fast. But I never had a machine eat blades like this, and it was kind of disturbing. So, but of course, it's out of warranty then. Also, after the first year, the battery died. So I ended up buying a cheapo battery from Walmart, and now it's lasted for years and years. So it was kind of disturbing after spending that much money and seeing the warranty on John Deere products go down. Oh, and also something else. When I took this in, I said I have a problem going up hills. Like, going up, I felt like it was laying, and it lost a lot of speed, and sometimes it just didn't feel like it had anything behind it to push it. And they said, no, that's fine, blah, blah, blah. Well, I read on the internet, you should change out the rear end fluid. And I did. I put synthetic in it, and away I went. Well, what happens next over the years is, you know, deck pulleys, like for the cutting blades, replacement of blades, replacement of pulleys, and the cutting transmissions, or whatever you want to call them. It's where the pulley goes down, like that pulley right there, where it goes down to the blade system. I had to replace that. The drive belt in this thing, whoever thought of how this drive belt works is nuts, because you have to literally go underneath it, take the steering shaft, undo the steering shaft, and lift it up. Okay? Lift it up, because you can't get the belt out with the steering shaft in place. Now, luckily or unluckily for me, the steering gear and everything was worn out, and last year I ended up replacing again this jobby right here. See how it's kind of all screwed up? Well, I ended up replacing it again, twice. So that annoyed me. Headlights would go out. Then next thing, marvelously, there's little, well, okay. First it started out with this, right here. that button right there, and it lets you cut when you go in reverse. Well, that croaked. So I bypassed it. Now apparently it's just a 2-wire system, so I just completed the circuit. Then another one went, then another one went, like the seat one went, and the rear end one went. I'm going, holy cripes. So I ended up bypassing all of them. The next thing, the front clutch, right, let me see if I can get down in here, right in there, you can see the front clutch right there, where the belt's around it, this thing right here. Well, there it is. Let me see if I can, it's hard to see. There's a wire in there, you can see the clip on. There's a wire in there, and it disconnected. So I had to solder it and solder it and solder it, and I kept fixing it, and it wasn't much to work with. So I priced out, I want to get just the connector, just a plain connector from John Deere. Well, you can't buy the connector, you have to buy the whole harness, and it's like 80 bucks or something like that. But I'm going, it's $80. So I fixed it up permanently. I I soldered it up and jammed it in there pretty good, and it held. But you know, it wasn't like the initial cost was expensive. Oh, and I've replaced wheels and stuff like that. Like those things have gone too. But the initial cost of it, oh, and it's horrible on fuel. Like honestly, it eats gas like none other. Oh yeah, the spring broke on one side. I replaced it with an old lawnmower spring for the seat, and then it broke just recently on the other side. And I didn't have one around, so I just stuck a cloth in there because I knew it was dying. And the reason I'll tell you why this thing was dying, and it wasn't the engine, okay? This engine, and I have to say something, like I've always liked Briggs engines. This is a Briggs & Stratton, you know, 24 horse. They say it's exclusive for John Deere. I have no idea. All I'll tell you is, oh yeah, and the solenoid went. I had to replace the solenoid, which was annoying. Oh, and the fuel pump connections, they went too. But, you know, I changed the oil on this, and I changed the filter, changed the spark plugs. I looked after this engine, and I always use synthetic motor oil, Rotella T6, and this engine runs great. Like, it is the best thing out of this lawn tractor, and of course it isn't by John Deere. So, what ended up killing this, and it's just something that apparently they have problems with, the Transaxle went. It's a hydrostatic drive, and apparently they were inferior or something. I've read a lot of problems with them on the internet, and it finally went. And you know, I talked to some dealers about this, and they knew about it. They sat there and they said, yeah, they go out on them. And I'm going, well, I'm thinking to myself, you know, John Deere is supposed to have quite a reputation. And here they are, not, you'd think that, okay, if we had a problem with it, why not say, hey, you know what, we had a problem with these, take it in and we'll replace it. You know, or we'll pay half or whatever, at least make some goodwill gesture. Well, they didn't. And the dealer didn't care. Like my local dealer, I told them, and last time I was in there, because I tried everything to see if it was, I changed the belt out just a few days ago just to see if that was it. And you know what? Didn't make any difference. And I told him, I said, the hydrostatic drive, and he admitted it. He said, yeah, he said those models, and he said those years, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, what? So this is a known problem, and they did nothing about it. So that's what killed this lawn tractor. It still starts, it still moves at a crawl, like once it gets hot. When it's cold, it moves along all right. Now, I replaced it, and you know what? I spent a lot of money replacing all these stupid little parts, pulleys and wheels and belts and this and that. Blades, oh my God, blades. Like I go through a couple sets of blades a year. So I replaced it with this. Let's take a walk over here. Here, and this is just a basic MTD. And it's Yardworks. It's a Canadian Tire jobby, but it's an MTD lawn tractor. And yeah, it's a smaller cut, whatever. But you know what? This thing, it's got a no-name brand engine in it. A Yardworks 420cc. it's just a standard run-of-the-mill lawn tractor, and it's a 38-inch cut. This thing goes faster than that John Deere ever did, like honestly. But this is what I replaced it with, and it, like I say, it's just a regular MTD lawn tractor. So, and this was about a third of the price. So, John Deere, sorry, you'll never get my business again. Not when you produce machinery, and I don't care that the machine's old. I have problems with that since it was new, and you know what? It has just about 500 hours on that machine, on that John Deere, and it just died. It just gave out. And 500 hours on a lawn tractor should be nothing. So John Deere, I am disappointed, and you've lost a customer for life. And you know what? You may say, oh well, it's just one customer. But you know what? Anybody who asks me, I'll say John Deere, I don't like it, and I'll tell them why. So hopefully that jobby right there will get the job done for me, and I'll be doing a review on that pretty soon. Anyway guys, take care, be safe out in the road, enjoy yourself, and I hope if you go to buy a lawn tractor that, you know, this is one thing that you think about. This is my experience with my John Deere, and I didn't like the experience one bit. So take care guys, like and subscribe please.